Wow. Amazing. Wow. 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 It's great. Deeksha, this is amazing work. You have a great sense of photography. Uh, some of your pictures are really, really nicely captured. They have a good sense of composition. I'm going to comment on each one of them individually. I'm looking at the picture right now of Albert Hall Museum. It's a fabulous picture. It's got a nice rule of third composition. You have the birds going in motion. That's a great landscape. It's, you know, nicely captured as well. I think I would probably give you only recommendation if there's something in the foreground, if there's some action. I have some action among the birds. It's really nice. But if there's some human element walking past by or some other animal or whatever, which could have been in the foreground, you know, I think it would have made the picture even more perfect. But individual perspective, I think this picture is really great. So I'm looking at the second picture. It's called Alley. It's a nice picture. I think it's a little underexposed probably by one stop. Again, it's got a good sense of composition. It's got about these 3 lines running through the frame, you know, on the right hand side. The sky is a little cloudy. Good picture, but I think it could have been a lot more better. It's a nice still picture. It's kind of a picture that can give you a reference. But if I just take the picture all by itself or put it in a series, it has to make sense. For now, I think you could work a little more better on the picture. Composition is great. Action is 0. Maybe some element of human or some other thing which could probably put some life in the picture. At this point of time, there is no life. You know, it's just a plain picture. So now I'm looking at your picture. It's called Amer. It's about Amer Fort. I really like the composition of the picture. I can see that you've broken the golden rule. Ideally, you know, people always have the frame divided between 1/4 and the remaining, either, you know, the subject or the sky or something else. This one is a very nice composition. I really like the color of the sky as well. From my perspective, it's a great picture if you want to print it up on a landscape mode, or, you know, for a wallpaper or for a mobile wallpaper, or put it on a postcard. But if you want to win some competition, or you want to you know, or showcase this kind of photograph to international markets, I think probably it needs to have a little more of a human element, or you know, some kind of activity which makes the picture a little more interesting. I'm looking at another picture. It's called Dwindle. I really love the composition. I can see 3 different elements. There is one background which is like the city. There is a winding road, and there are, you know, I can see some cars and vehicles. There is a little bit of space which I think could have been avoided in the foreground, which is you know, the land where you've been standing and taking the picture. If I could just see the roads and the mountain and the city in the background, I think that would have been perfect. But even this picture is really great. It's you know, something that can talk about the place. It's a nice landscape. You know, there's a little bit of action going on because of the road, and there are lines, and there's a nice composition. So I think it's a fantastic picture. I'm looking at another picture. It's called Jarokha. It's a good frame. It's again a good composition. I would go to the extent of saying that you have a great sense of composition. You see things very artistically. There's a nice foreground, there's a nice background to it. You know, I can see the mountains in the background. You know, I can see the lines, you know, crossing by. It's a great picture about composition. It's a great picture about the place. Putting all the pictures together about the city, about the place, I think it makes a good sense. Really like the blue sky, but I think it would be great if there was probably a bird flying or some element of action in the picture, because right now it is still. It's a great picture, it's a great composition, but probably adding that extra element I think would have given a picture another one more step. It's the last picture in your series. I really like the composition that you've done. It's like from the base, from the ground level and shooting upwards. It's making the temple look really great. A photograph marked as temple, and you know, not having a very basic elements about temple, you know, probably could be bells, could be people, could be the priest, or you know, some movement again takes the life of the picture. It's again a great picture, but then what I think would be your first step is figuring out the composition, seeing the picture in your head. Second step would be is actually framing it on your camera, and probably a third step would be is waiting for some action to happen in the same frame, which will up your game by another 1 or 2 more levels. Having said that, I think this is brilliant work. You're really doing a great, fantastic job. Just keep practicing more, and I'm sure you'll get better at it.